Today we're going to be installing the CarPlay unit into our 2012 5 Series BMW. I originally had the LCD screen that you replace. It has an Android unit built into it and then a separate small box for the, I believe it was the amplifier. But running that unit, it seemed to have an issue with my car where sometimes the audio would be great, sometimes it would cut out and be horrible. You could barely even hear it. So then I have this style unit in my other BMW. It works great. Rarely have any issues with it. So we're gonna try the same one, same style at least, into our 5 Series and see if that solves our audio issue. The other thing I didn't like about the Android LCD is that you can't adjust the brightness through your car. You'd have to do it through the LCD settings. It was such a hassle to do it, and then when you turn the car off, turn it back on, you lose all that settings. So the Android LCD replacement just didn't work out for my liking. It wasn't refined enough to where it was friendly for daily driving. So this is the one we're doing now. It's box and use the stock screen, and then you would just hold the menu button to switch between your factory screen to the Android unit or whatever unit that they have built in, which is this box. So this is a direct plug and play for the most part. It comes with the wiring harness. You just have to make sure that you choose the right one for your car. So ours is a CIC, so we got that one. So here's the harness itself. Comes with auxiliary out. So I don't think I run this in my other BMW, but if we do, then we'll just run it into the stock auxiliary port on the 5 Series we have. And then it comes with the unit itself, just a small black box with a bunch of plugs on it. And for this installation, in the photo at least, it says that you could just mount this right on top of your stock stereo unit, so then you don't actually have to mount it like into the back seat like I did for my other car, which is pretty nice. I mean, everything is should be right in front, and to remove the stereo on the 5 Series, it's fairly quick. It's about, I think, like 6 to 8 screws. So this should be a pretty quick and straightforward installation. The only thing you do have to note is there's some toggle switches here. So then in the instructions, they'll show you based on your screen size, you have to set these toggle switches. I think if you have the smaller screen, you set it one way, the larger screen, a different way. So and then you do want to check your connector on the back of your stock screen, because this will have to match your stock connector, which we did. So then it comes with cable and everything. So this should be a direct connection to our factory screen, in and out. It comes with a Wi-Fi antenna. We probably won't use the Wi-Fi much or ever, so I know we'll just connect this, but I don't know if we'll ever end up testing it or not. And then here is a for USB, it looks like USB video, so if you want to run external stuff, you can. I guess we could run some movies on here or something, so we'll probably hook this up and then tuck this one, the USB video, into the dashboard and just let it live in there. And then let's see what this is. This looks like some sort of antenna. Maybe it's like a GPS antenna or something. I don't see a plug. I don't see a plug for it anywhere. So yeah, I'm not sure what this thing's for, but it's probably a microphone actually. Oh, here you go. It probably plugs into this part right here. Yeah, and it's a microphone in for your, I guess, if you're doing phone calls. So yeah, maybe we'll run this up to the side of the car or just down by the dash. We'll see. But aside from that, yeah, it should be a fairly simple install, and then I'll walk you guys through the whole thing just so you know for reference. And then one thing to note on this stock, or on this harness here, the main harness, that there is one connector here. To keep a note, it's currently connected, but it says if there's, basically once you hook it up, if you get some strange noise from the car, then go ahead and disconnect this, and I guess that should solve it. But it's probably some type of loop system. So yeah, let's get over to the car and then we'll start installing this. All right, now we're in the car. Let's go ahead and start disassembling this. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take this panel off. If you're worried about scratches or damaging any of this, maybe get some towels, put it over your shifter, or put it over this console right here, so then when you do remove this, it doesn't whack other things and get scratched. So to pull this off, it's all basically clips. What I typically do is drop the dashboard here, and then I give it a light tug just to get this side unclipped. You'll probably want to open the passenger door just so this corner could clear the door trim. And when you're doing this, you don't want to grab it all the way from the right and just yank it towards you, because then you're going to cause too much stress on this side. So I'm just going to slowly take some clips and then just work my way over to the driver's side here. Like so. Okay. And then I'm going to pull this out a little bit. And you'll find a plug right behind the starter button. Go ahead and unplug that, and then you'll be able to work your way through towards the middle here. The wire under the vent is slightly clipped in, so you could pull that, what was it? I think it's straight back. So just give it a little wiggle, and then you'll unplug this white connector here, and there'll be one more, which is I believe the hazard button. Undo that one, and then you'll have this thing fully disconnected. So I'll go ahead and place this in the back seat. Alright, and the next thing we're going to have to do is remove these two bolts here, and then we'll also remove the screen, because we need to get behind the screen to do the connectors over there. So all this is going to be Torx, T-O-R-X bolts or screws, if you want to call it that, and they are likely going to be T20. So I'm going to take my T20 bit here. Remove this top one. Right there. And this should pull out like so. So the bottom one is, there's four basically locking type of studs here. So just try to pull it out evenly, and then you'll be able to disconnect it. And then for this connector here, there's a little tab in the middle here. Is it? I think, yeah, you push the middle tab down, and then you pull this lever out of the way. Same for this blue one. So I don't think you're going to have to disconnect everything like I'm doing, but I'm trying to just disconnect stuff to get out of the way to make it easier to show you what's going on. So after that, let's see here. Now we just need to find basically a home for this box. So I think the best spot is, in the photo it says to put it on top of this unit here, but you're not going to be able to do that because you have the center vent in the way. So I think the best spot will be just right on the side of the stereo unit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably remove this, try to get that box tucked under there, and have it lay maybe like so. If not, then yeah, I think we're gonna try to aim for somewhere like that. Or we could also maybe just go right behind the screen itself. So let me get the screen out of the way, get this CD changer radio unit out of the way, and then we'll see what we're working with. So then same thing, there's going to be 4 Torx screws for the radio / CD unit. So we're going to take this off just so we get to the connectors in the back. And I think this install should take no more than, I say, an hour, assuming everything goes smoothly and we don't have to end up taking much more of the panels or units here to do what we want to do. So here is our stereo unit, and then what I'm going to do with this one, I'm just going to put it off to the side here because there is a lot of connectors and I don't want to have to disconnect everything here. But I believe these might be there are some fiber cables in here, so you want to just be careful with kinking these wires because you could damage the fiber cables. And then here is the screen itself, so then this one we're going to have to disconnect for sure. Alright, and I believe the power is also going to have to be disconnected because then it does run through to the new unit. So there you go. That's all disconnected. Set the screen aside, just make sure you don't scratch it up or anything. Alright, so here's the box. Let's see where we could tuck this away into. So I'm thinking I might be able to get it to the bottom here of where the stereo unit is. So let me give that a try. Let me put that box down there and then see if I can slide this radio back in without it interfering with that box. Nope. And it looks like it does hit the box. So that's not going to work there. Actually, there's a really big void over here by the glove box, so if I could get it to fit down on this side here, that'd be perfect. I just gotta figure out what angle. A little finessing, I was able to get that box tucked over there in the side of the glove box here, and then if anything we might have to stick some foam in there just to keep it from vibrating against the metal bar of the dashboard. But we got the box over there with the Wi-Fi antenna still on it. You just got to find the right angle to push it down there without having to disconnect the Wi-Fi antenna or damage it when you're getting it through. So after that we got the two monitor cables here, and then now we're gonna hook up this one is the video or the USB feed. Get that plugged in, and then we get the main harness here plugged in also. So, and then now we're left with this connector, which in the manual it says it goes to the iDrive control, which it looks like it probably does. So we'll have to pop off the center console over here and get under there to run this wire harness along with the auxiliary out. So we'll leave these aside for now. Make sure that you don't have anything in the way of the vent here, because then once you get that other cover back on, the vent you're gonna want that vent to seal up. Alright, so correction, I misread the instructions here. So basically you're not gonna need to even disconnect the LCD screen itself. The green wire, or the green let's see what the proper term is, LVDS cable from your new unit is going to go into the back of the old head unit here. Now it's going to be this top pink one, so you can go ahead and plug the green one into there, and then you're going to take the other end, the pink end here, which is the original car cable, and that's going to go into the purple pink connector of the new head unit. So pretty much it's going to come out of here, go into the unit through the green wire. It's going to come out of the purple unit, or the purple wire of the unit, and then back into the stock screen plug. So this plug stays where it is. This is factory here, and this one's also factory. So in this case, you don't have to remove the screen. So we'll put the screen back where it was. And then bolt it down. So aside from that, we got that figured out now. And then CarPlay high can. I'm not sure what this wire is. We'll have to figure out this short one here. But then it looks like the rest of the wires that we're going to have to hook up is just going to run over to the iDrive joystick here. So for now, we're just going to tuck the stock unit back into place. We'll route the wires properly, and then we'll open up this armrest console here. All right, so to remove the center console right here, if I remember correctly, you're gonna have to pop off this cover here for the release button, slash key to lock the armrest console, and then you'll find a T20 screw right down here, and go ahead and take that out. And then I believe that was the only one holding it, and then you could kind of try to find places to grip just to pry it up here. And there you go. It's all clips from there. So once you get that loose, removing the whole unit might be a little tricky. So then what I'm gonna do is just leave it as is, and then I'll just get under here and do my connections. You're gonna have this harness here, which is one with a large, I don't know, just say 10 wire pigtail harness, and then one's gonna have a 4 wire. Yeah, your car is only gonna use one of these options, either 4 wire or the larger one. In this case, our iDrive joystick here has the 4 wire blue harness. So I disconnect that, and then pretty much one end is gonna go into the new harness, and the other end's gonna go back into the iDrive. And the other one is left disconnected. So this one will just live down here without it being connected to anything. So now I'm just going to route the wire behind everything under the console here. And then since I have this all open anyways, I'll run the auxiliary cable with it. Don't know if we're going to be using it, but at least it'll be there. All right, we got that in finally. This is all pushed back down. Everything seems functional, so that's good. So there's not really that many holes to feed wires through in this BMW dash. So what we did was ran it right on the outside here. And I basically is going to come out and into this hole. And once we get the other cover on, it should cover all that up. So we got that. And then I ran the auxiliary through here, so I'll just plug that in, but I don't think we're gonna really be using that. Alright, that seems to be it, and then we'll just plug the antenna in, or sorry, the microphone in, and then route it somewhere, and then we'll figure out the rest of that later. I think I'll just put it right by the cluster here. That'd be the most direct spot for it. So plug that in, undo this loom to get a little bit of the wire going, but this is a lot more wire than we need, so then I'll probably end up just tucking the loom away somewhere. So I'm thinking I'll just pop it out right by the starter button right there. Tuck everything back in. Now I'm just gonna do a test here. I'm gonna just connect everything without bolting anything in fully, just to make sure that the CarPlay is working. And then if it does, then we'll go ahead and undo the stuff and bolt in everything else and finish up with the installation. Alright, so you hold the menu button, and here's the CarPlay. So to control this, it doesn't look like you turn the dial, but you have to just click the dial left and right. For wireless connection, use iPhone, pair Bluetooth. Now for the Bluetooth, I'm gonna find car. Assuming it's car, on here it says car 1699. So let's try to connect to that one. Yep, and pairing request. Connect. So this does have a slightly different interface than the other system I'm running, but we do have CarPlay now. Cool. All right, now let's try some audio. So once you're in the CarPlay, you can actually use the iDrive dial to navigate around. So let's get into the audio here. Let's just play Discover Weekly. We'll just shuffle play this. And we got audio. So the screen's not the best since this is a factory screen, and it doesn't have as much color depth as newer systems, but the idea is that we want the most seamless integration that we can into the car, as the other one seemed a little finicky. So hopefully this one runs pretty good. The only thing is that the looping cable for the auxiliary, so far it sounds good, but we'll see. Maybe when you're running the car, there's some frequencies that might pick up, but right now it sounds way better than it ever has. It sounds factory for the most part, and I'm getting surround sound. We previously used this Bluetooth FM transmitter that worked for the most part pretty good in this car compared to running it in my RX-8, which had a lot of static, but it was just the antenna of the RX-8 versus the antenna of this car. This one worked pretty well, but then we're only able to get the front speakers working with this, and at least now we get all full speakers, and then we get the whole CarPlay setup. We could use our navigation to get around, and I think this is one of the best mods to do to this car if you daily drive it and you have a modern smartphone that has, you know, music streaming and navigation. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just connect everything back, bolt everything down, and call it a day. Thanks for watching, guys.